Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamail, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon. I am coming off of an incredible 3-day conference that I cannot wait to tell you guys more about. I'm still processing, but it literally is going to change how I show up in what I do and just how I show up as a human. I'm that excited about it. But today, what we're going to talk about is the top 12 questions I get asked all the time, whether it's from podcast listeners or in my Facebook group, or emails or messages. Like, these are the top 12 questions that I get asked all the time. All right, let's dig in. First one, how do I know if I'm ready to lead a retreat? This is such a good question. And actually, if you're asking this question, you're on the right track, period, because I think too many times people just jump in, they start planning things and making websites and all this stuff, and they have not done any of the work that's really required in order to start hosting retreats. And the first one is asking yourself, how do I know if I'm ready? And to me, there's a few things. The first one is, do you have a clear purpose for the retreat? Not just a desire to travel or gather people, but like a clear purpose, a clear promise. What is the transformation? What is the guest going to experience and feel, and what's going to be different at the end of your retreat? Is it super clear? Are you super clear on who you're going to serve? Who is that guest? And I mean super clear, like crystal clear. That guest has a name. It's a full avatar. It is, you know exactly who they are, where they live, how much money they make, if they're working out of the home, if they're working in the home, you know where they shop, you know what social platforms they're on, you know exactly who this person is that you are marketing to. So crystal clear on the promise, the transformation, and crystal clear on who you are serving. And this isn't just, I think I know, and go for it. No, this is writing it down, journaling it out, getting really deep and nitty gritty and knowing who this person is and what the promise is, the transformation is. I cannot emphasize this enough, how important this is. So those are the first two things that are really important, because the confidence is going to come from the clarity. Like, truly, your confidence will come from the clarity of knowing exactly who you're going to serve and exactly how you're going to serve and how they're going to feel at the end of your retreat, the transformation that you're going to facilitate. So that's super important. Before you start hosting, before you even put together anything, there's two things I think you should do. Also, the first one is attend retreats. If you've never attended a retreat, you have no business hosting a retreat. I'm just going to say it just like that. You have no business hosting retreats if you're not attending retreats. And when you do start hosting retreats, you should continue to attend retreats. You have to walk the talk, okay? So attend retreats. You're going to learn so much on retreats. First of all, you're going to get whatever transformation they are promising, ideally. But also you're going to learn, what did you love about it? What did you not like about it? How are you going to structure your retreat by the things that you learn from that retreat? Now, that does not mean that you go copy somebody's retreat. That's not cool. This is just about market research and understanding what you like as a person and then taking that into your retreat space. So please understand the difference of that, but you should be attending retreats. The other thing is, I highly recommend this, but it's not as important, although I might argue with myself on that. Go work retreats. Go work at a retreat. I have a work exchange program for almost all of my retreats. Lots of hosts offer work exchange type of positions, or there's retreat centers. Whatever it is, however you get in there, go work a retreat. And when you do, ask how you can really help behind the scenes as well. I have helped a few retreat leaders that at the end of hosting their own retreat, they're like, this is not for me. This was so much more work than I thought it would be. I was physically and emotionally drained. I do not have the capacity for it or the like for it, whatever. And so they spent a lot of time and money and energy building up this retreat brand, hosting their first retreat, and then realizing, I don't like this. No, thank you. And so go work a retreat. If you do those few things, know exactly who you're going to serve, what you're going to serve, what the transformation is, you attend retreats and work retreats, you will know at the end of that if you are ready. Okay? At that point, if you still feel like, yes, this is what I want to do, then go for it. Question number 2, how far in advance should I start planning my retreat? This will vary by a couple of variables. I would say, and also, by the way, it varies by your demographic, it varies by your geographic, it varies by your community, as far as do you have an established community. There's so many variables, so I don't feel like there's a one size fits all. But ideally, there's somewhere between the 9 to 12 month range. You could go as low as 6 months. I would not put together a retreat with less than 6 months. That's just me. There might be other people out there that will tell you differently, but I wouldn't do it with less than 6 months. And so the 9 to 12, really, it varies. Like for me, my international retreats, I actually plan them 2 years in advance. And that's for a number of reasons, a lot to do with me personally. And so my retreats that are in my home country, it's definitely 12 months. Part of that too is I own a venue, and so just having to schedule in things appropriately, like it's just a whole thing. But I really start marketing somewhere between 6 to 9 months. That's when I'm marketing and that's when I'm selling, is between 6 to 9 months. Now, have I seen retreat leaders do it within 2 to 3 months? Yes, I have. They're very much exceptions to the rule. Usually it's because they have a very big community. It's because they've done it before. It's because the community's begging for it. There's just those very active, engaged things that are happening that they are able to do that and make it work successfully. Otherwise, again, 9 to 12 months, as little as 6 months, depending on where you're at, and all of that type of thing. If you've answered question number 1 and you know you still want to do retreats, I would start building an interest list right then and there without even having your dates or anything. I would just start building your interest list. So that's just a FYI. Okay, question number 3. How do I choose the right location or venue? So I've answered this in our podcast and I've blogged about it. And so there's different resources that you can find that I've already talked about this. But here's what I will say. You need to think about who your ideal guest is, that avatar we talked about. Like, what's their vibe? What is approximately their budget? What's their travel comfort level? Like, for instance, for me, I thought about hosting a retreat in Greece, but when I realized, for me personally, coming from Austin, Texas, how long it was going to take me to get there and how many planes and boats and shuttles I had to get on, I was like, that's just not for me. And it's just an incredible location, by the way. There is no knocking that Greece is an incredible location to host, but I'm not interested in going through that much travel to get there, and so it's probably never going to be on my list. Thinking about your ideal guest, what do they prefer? What amenities are important to your ideal guest? For instance, I had somebody actually contact me or contact the ranch a couple days ago who I know personally, and she was like, is this a good space for a luxury grieving retreat for women? And my answer is probably not. Retreat Ranch, listen, I'm biased. Retreat Ranch is badass, okay? And the people who have come through here will tell you how badass it is. But I would not at all consider us a luxury venue. We are rustic chic luxury. I mean, we have incredible mattresses. We have bamboo sheets. We have curated products. Like, there's lots of things and amenities and pieces that would be considered luxury. But as a whole, our facility and our retreat center is not a luxury retreat center. And so just knowing what your ideal guest needs and wants, and that it matches you as well, right? Is it matching your needs? Because usually your ideal guest, your avatar, is you, but maybe a few steps behind, right? You've got tools, you've got transformation for them, you've got knowledge for them, but they're somewhat aligned with you. So what do you like? What's important to you? Is it important for it to be nature-based? Is it important to have conference rooms? Like, all of that stuff's important. I would say avoid choosing solely on price or aesthetics. You're looking for function, support, vibe alignment, okay? And so really think about what kind of support you would need as a host, especially if you're a first-time host, and does that facility provide that? Most rental facilities do not, unless they are a retreat center. And so just keep that in mind, okay, when you're looking for venue. Hey, retreat leaders, listen up. If you've been struggling to price your retreats, fill your retreats, or even start your retreat business, this is your moment. I'm hosting a one-day high-impact workshop in London on October 10th, designed to help you plan, price, market, and profit from transformational retreats. Whether you're just starting out or scaling to your next level, this room is where your clarity begins. And you want to be in rooms that actually level up your business. By the way, it's a total business write-off. What better way to visit London and write it off for business? Grab your spot now at retreatproworkshop.com or click the links in the show notes. I'll see you in London. Next question. What's the right price to charge for my retreat, and how do I justify it? I get this all the time. So I really get it, especially at our venue. New hosts will say, what should I charge for this? And my answer is always, that's up to you. And here's why. I have had hosts come in my ranch and charge $10,000 per person for a 3-night stay that includes specific things. And I have had hosts come to the ranch and host a 3-night retreat and charge less than $1,000 per person. Let that sink in for a minute. And by the way, both were sold out. So it really, really depends. What are you promising? What is the transformation? My $10,000 a person retreat host is very niched, very specific, very exclusive. It's a very specific demographic, okay? So the more niched you get and the more specific you get and the more tools you're providing, the more that has value to it, okay? So it just depends. You do not, though, price it based on how much the venue costs, the food costs, the instructors cost. Like, that's all yes. As my friend Aaron Haig would say, that, reverse engineering pricing based on like your desired profit, expenses, value, etc. It's using math, right? But you don't just use math to add up those primary things. You've got to add in your profit. And what your profit is so much more than the time you spend at retreat. It's so much bigger than that. It is your experience, your education, like everything that makes you who you are, okay? So yes, use math, venue, food, all the expenses. And listen, y'all, there's so many more expenses than venue, food, and goodie bags. And like, there's so much to it. Are you adding your Canva cost? Are you adding credit card fees? Are you adding any marketing, your own travel fees, gas, parking, whatever it is? Like, there's so much more to it. So make sure you have a budget sheet, but use math, add in your profit. Also add in what you would pay yourself at a retreat. That's part of the payroll. So you're kind of getting paid twice, but really not. So you're getting paid payroll for working the retreat, just like you would pay some other person who's like in charge, like a manager, right? Then you're also building in the profit. The profit is what goes back into the business typically, right? I love this. This is definitely straight from my friend Aaron Haig. I've never described it like this before, but it's described perfectly that way. And so there's so much that gets put into that price of the retreat. You really have to sit down, do the math, put it on a spreadsheet, map it out exactly, and then the numbers don't lie. And then you get an idea of what you should charge at that point. And here's what I'll also say. We get a lot of retreat leaders who are like, well, when they're sharing a bed, shouldn't it be half cost? No, it shouldn't. Could there be a small discount because they share a bed? Yes, but all the other costs are the same per person, right? And so don't get confused in that. But here's, at the end of the day, what really needs to happen. You price with confidence. You need to be so confident in what you're offering and the transformation you're promising and the experience you're promising that you feel good when you say, my retreat is $6,000 or $2,000 or $20,000. Like whatever it is, you need to feel so good. And if it doesn't excite you at that rate that you have, then it's too low. It's too low. It needs to excite you. You need to be like, yes, I am so excited to do this retreat. I'm so excited to serve the people that show up here. I cannot wait to take them through this experience and this transformation, because profit and money has an energetic exchange too. So you need to be excited. Hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, next question. How do I market my retreat without sounding salesy? My husband would say sales is a noble job, damn it, and it is. There's just such a stigma around sales, but here's the truth. If you're not selling, you are not going to get the maximum return in your business. You cannot rely on marketing alone. By the way, they're two different things, okay? You need to be selling. Marketing is attracting, selling is closing, okay? When it comes to selling, you sell with a story, the value, the transformation, not 3 nights in a luxury hotel, yoga every day, chef prepared meals. That's not it, y'all. That's not it. What's the story? What's the value? What's the transformation? And you use a combination of social proof, behind the scenes, all that stuff. But here's the real thing. You need to ask for the sell. I know. But let's imagine you've put together this incredible experience, and a client that you've worked with in some other capacity, maybe coaching or something, somebody that you know if they went on this retreat, it would change their life. Like you feel that. Call them. Send them a video message, send them a voice memo, and say, hey, Shannon, I just created this retreat that I'm so excited about, and you came to mind, and I think you would get so much value out of it. Can I share some details or set up a call to talk to you about it? That's selling. You send out a newsletter. People click on the link to find out information about your retreat. You reach out to each person that clicked on the link. That's selling. So, if you're not selling and you're only marketing, you are missing a ton of opportunity. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, next one. How do I make sure my retreat actually makes a profit? I think we covered a lot of this already, but I think what I can say to this is budget meticulously. Budget meticulously. You would be shocked at the expenses that come up that you weren't prepared for. Because not only should you budget meticulously, but you also want to add a cushion on top of that. One of the members in my retreat leader membership program was asking the other day about what they should do with food costs, because the retreat is in a year from now, but the prices that they're getting today may not be the exact food cost, right? And I'm like, you're right. There should be a cushion. The only thing that's completely locked in, it should be completely locked in, is your venue, because that's contracted. Now, if you've contracted with a chef and they have put their own cushion into their prices because food, let's just be honest, food has been skyrocketing all over the place, then you have a contracted price in there. But usually in a chef's contract, it will have some wiggle room because the cost of goods could change. So budget, and then add a cushion. That's super important. The other thing that you can do and consider is, what are you going to sell at your retreat? Like, how are you going to continue this work that you're doing, and how can you bring it into your business? Are you going to offer a coaching program, a mastermind program? Are you going to offer products themselves? Like, what could you offer on your retreat that continues this relationship? Are you ready to sell your next retreat on this retreat? Let me tell you something. When we are there at the retreat, like, okay, an example, this conference that I just left, I'm like, how can I sign up for the next one right now? Like, I want to sign up for the next one right now. So when they are there at your retreat, feeling these amazing vibes, they're so just transformed, ideally. That's when you can offer them how to continue the relationship and add more profit into your business as well. It is a double serving stone, y'all, because yes, you are building more profit, you're building more business by offering this, and it's not dirty and it's not yucky, because they are also going to get something incredible out of it. So sell on your retreats. Hey guys, I'm cutting in real quick to ask a favor. Will you please share this show with someone who you think could benefit from it? That really helps us to get amazing guests on the show. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe and leave us a review. Please, it really helps us to continue to grow for you. Okay. Next question. What contracts or legal protections do I need in place? So this, I've definitely have at least 2 podcasts that have been recorded about this. I'm not going to spend much time on this. At the end of the day, you have to have clear agreements with your venue and any contractors that you work with. You have to have participant waivers. You have to have cancellation policies. You have to have terms of service. You have to have insurance. So these are just the basics, okay? And there's so much more detail on those things in some other podcasts as well as my blog. Okay, next question. What happens if I don't sell enough spots? Do I cancel, pivot, push harder? Ooh, this is yummy. So here's what I will offer. Erin Haig has a great course out there. And yes, me and Erin, I just adore her and the work that she does, which is why I talk about her and her products and her services, because I believe in them. And so she has a retreat resuscitation masterclass, I believe. So go look that up, or I will have it linked in the show notes. It is awesome. But the first thing I will tell you is don't panic. Assess your timing. Are you too early or are you too quiet? Here's something that I see all the time. I actually just experienced a retreat host who has a very big social following and really just assumed that her social following would fill her retreat. And she canceled on us at the venue because it didn't fill. And when I look back, I think in a 3-4 month period, she mentioned it 3 times. And on top of that, we gave leads to her because we get leads through our website all the time. And we would find out from the leads that she wouldn't call them for 3 or 4 days, and we'd have to remind her to call them. So, are you too quiet? Are you visible enough? Are you working on your retreat every single day with excitement, with confidence, so that is felt through everything that you do? So, I'm just going to leave it at that because I feel like you have to answer those questions before you make any other decisions. You can't make a decision to cancel or pivot or whatever if you're not even showing up and being consistent. I can tell you this. I've not seen yet a host who shows up daily with joy and excitement about their retreat and not get the response or the signups that they wanted. I haven't. Not ever. So that's what you really need to ask yourself. Okay. Next question. How can I stand out in a saturated retreat market? Ooh, yes. So you all know I've been doing this for almost 15 years. I joke around with some of the OGs that when I was doing it, I literally could spend like $50 on Facebook because that's all there was Facebook. And there was a couple of platforms, Book Retreats and BookYogaRetreats.com, that were at that time worked really great. And it was like bam, bam, bam. Easy. It's not like that today, okay? There are a lot more hosts out there, and I'm glad of that, and I want you to be successful. That's why I do a podcast for free, is to help retreat leaders be successful. But now, especially more than ever, you have to stand out by being specific. You have to niche down. You have to know exactly who you're going to serve in a very specific niche. You cannot just put out a women's wellness retreat. Not unless you're only selling to your community and your studio or your people only. And then they're going for sure engaged and they're going to sign up fine. But then you probably wouldn't be listening to this. You wouldn't have any issues, building a retreat. You're just focusing on your community and serving your community only, and you're done. But if you're wanting to fill your retreat with, sure, your community, but outside your community as well, and in general have a sustainable, long-lasting business, you have to be specific. You have to be super niched. And I mean as specific as you can, right? And then the other thing is getting visible, which I just talked about in the previous answer. You have to be visible every single day. And listen, I just wrote a blog about this. Do not, listen, I'll get mad right now and I will cuss, and I'm trying not to, but do not tell me you don't have time, because I call bullshit Look at your phone and look at your screen time on there. How often or how much screen time usage you are on your phone, and then tell me you don't have time. Bullshit. You have time to show up every day. It takes 15, 20 minutes to show up every day and market and sell every day. So you need to be specific and you need to get visible and be consistent. Okay? Very passionate about this, you guys. All right, next one. Should I co-lead with someone or go solo? Okay, so I have like mixed thoughts on this, especially because I've done both. Obviously, I don't co-host anymore, really. So here, let's just talk about it. Co-hosts and co-leads can be amazing, or they could be a disaster, just being honest. You really need to pick someone who complements your energy and your audience. And I can't stress this enough. You have to have super clear roles, responsibilities, income splits, everything. How it would end if it had to end, like everything you can think of in writing. And honestly, you need to have a lawyer write it up. And this means even if it's your best friend. I cannot tell you how important this is. I cannot tell you. And in my opinion, only really co-lead with someone if you feel like it enhances the experience for guests and simplifies things for you. If it doesn't do those two things, both, do it on your own. I'm just going to leave it at that. And my members, they know all the ins and outs, and you get lots and lots of support in that area, but they can be amazing or they could be disastrous, and you really have to put some things in place to make it work right. So, okay, how do I handle unexpected issues on retreat like weather, illness, etc., without losing my mind? Plan for B and then C and D. You always want to have a contingency plan in place, especially when it comes to activities. If they're outdoor activities, I don't even care where you are. You still have to plan for plan B when it comes to those types of things. But here's the real thing. The first thing is to stay calm. Like whatever is happening, stay calm. I have had guests fight with each other. I've had a guest pull a knife on my chef. I have had guests get way, way intoxicated that we've had to physically move them. I had a guest, actually a teacher, get arrested for a DUI and disappeared from the ranch. I have had so many things. I have had someone have a complete anxiety attack after they did a cold plunge. I have had all kinds of things happen on retreats. They are going to happen. They're going to happen. And you need to be calm, kind, and honest. Like you don't want to hide that something has happened. You don't want to hide, that something went wrong. And you want to be super clear. Hey guys, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We were supposed to have this incredible outdoor activity, but we're going to pivot, just kind of like in life. In life, we plan for one thing and something else happens. So this is a great time to practice. How do we pivot? And so being calm, kind, honest, and try your best to plan for all these different things. If someone gets sick on your retreat, what are your resources? Where's the nearest urgent care? Where's the nearest hospital? Is there a doctor that can come to the site? Just plan. Try to walk through all the different things that could go wrong. You won't walk through all of them. Nobody walks through when a guest pulls a knife on your chef. Like you can't walk through all of them. You do the best you can, staying calm and kind, and you learn from it, because that's really what happens, and you get stronger from it. So there you go. Okay, last one. How do I keep the momentum going after the retreat ends? This is awesome. This is great. Some of it is what I've already offered, where you could sell some continuing programs at your retreat, which I think is just absolutely fabulous, right? But the other thing is like following up with photos and reflections, integration prompts, offering those next steps like I talked about, celebrating successes, gathering testimonials, start planting seeds for your next retreat, create a Facebook group for alumni, like just continuing the community feel with your group, I think is important. Some of the things that I do for my alumni is we have an alumni Facebook group, and I also send out birthday wishes to every single one of the guests that have been on my retreats. We have an alumni-only retreat every couple of years. I'm constantly engaging in the Facebook group because I genuinely want to be engaged with the community. And so just finding ways to stay engaged with your community. How can you continue to serve them? What other programs and options do you have for them, and retreats you might have in the future? So, all right, guys, if this was helpful, please let me know. Also, would you please share the show, either whether it's on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app? Will you share it with somebody else who you think might benefit from this? And if you haven't, please go leave us a review and subscribe. It really, really means the world to me. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.